Check out the latest highlights from the Nourishing You podcast.
Personally. Yeah. So I want to dive into this with you, and I want to get into the data-driven fasting. Yep. But I also want to just make sure our audience has some basic background information on the concept of intermittent fasting. Yep. And why this whole, aspect of fasting, whether it's data-driven or any type, has benefits for the body anyway. So can you kind of give us just a general overview of intermittent fasting before we get into the data-driven?
Yeah, it's I suppose the biggest problem is intermittent fasting. What does that mean, and what is fasting? And fasting is just going without food for a particular period of time voluntarily. So it's not starvation because you don't have access to food. You're saying, well, I'm not going to eat for a period of time. So, some people call fasting, they're going to do a 30-day fast for some spiritual or autophagy type purposes. And for other people, just, waiting another hour might be fasting for them. So that's the question of what is the right routine of fasting. And for someone who, think of if you drive a little hybrid car to work and, or maybe you drive a massive pickup Jeep and your friend drives the hybrid car to work, and they say, well, I fill up every, month, first Monday, and that's the perfect schedule for me to fill up my car. But you're driving, 3 times as far as them and a totally different driving routine. You're going to need a different refueling schedule. So just because someone has this, 16-8 routine or alternate day fasting or, extended fasting doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. So, that's why we designed data-driven fasting, to use your blood sugars to guide people when they need to eat. Because I suppose we saw a lot of people who are, with that more is better mentality, that if you fast for longer, you'll have these magic autophagy benefits. But what really happens for most people, definitely happened for me, is, you're face down in the donuts or the peanut butter or whatever comfort food you can indulge in at that point, and all of a sudden your lizard brain's going, I deserve this, and I was good, so I deserve the whole jar of peanut butter. And, at that point you've pushed it too far, and all of a sudden you've basically instantly undone all the benefits of not eating for a period of time. And if you keep on doing that, you're just going to get less protein, less nutrients, and become more metabolically unhealthy. You see all these fasting communities of people bragging about the high ketones and fasted for days at a time or weeks at a time. But those people don't tend to have the best metabolic health, body composition, which is really what leads to improved long-term health, diabetes reversal, cancer, heart disease, and everything. It's about finding the routine that works for you that leads to improved waist to height, blood sugars, body composition, feeling vital and energetic, and being able to go out and work out. All those sorts of things are really important. So you need to find that right routine for you.
If you enjoyed this short episode, check out our full library on our NAMP YouTube channel, where you can catch up or learn more. Keep in mind that the information on the NAMP podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical or legal advice. The NAMP is not liable or responsible for any harm, damage, or illness arising from the use of the information contained herein. By listening to the information on this podcast, you agree to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless the NAMP and all agents. Copyright NAMP, all rights reserved.